the moment everything stopped. I almost didn't go back to the parking lot. That's the part that still haunts me. The thought that if I'd kept walking, if I'd just gone home like I planned, my life might have stayed exactly the same. Quiet, predictable, safe in its own small misery. But I forgot my phone. And that small stupid mistake changed everything. I remember standing at the bus stop outside the office building, digging through my bag while the cold evening wind cut through my coat. Papers. A half-eaten granola bar. My keys. No phone. My heart dropped. I'd left it in my car. I was sure of it. Probably slipped out of my pocket when I sat down this morning, landing somewhere between the driver's seat and the center console. I sighed, already exhausted. It had been a long day, one of those days where every email felt sharp, every conversation felt heavy, and my boss's voice echoed in my head even after he stopped talking. "Attention to detail matters," he'd said earlier, tapping my report with his pen. "If you can't manage that, I don't know what to tell you." He didn't have to finish the sentence. We both knew what he meant. I turned around and started walking back. The office parking lot sat behind the building, half hidden by a row of old trees and flickering lampposts. At night, it always felt colder there, lonelier. Most people were gone by 6, their cars disappearing one by one until only a few remained. Usually mine, the janitor's van, and sometimes my boss's sleek black sedan. That night, I expected the lot to be empty. It wasn't. As soon as I stepped between the rows of parked cars, I saw it. The black sedan. Engine off. Lights dark. And standing beside it, my boss. I stopped walking. Something about the way he stood made my stomach tighten. His shoulders were slumped, his tie loosened, his phone pressed hard against his ear. He wasn't the sharp, controlled man I saw every day behind his desk. He looked shaken. Then I heard him speak. "Before we begin, if you enjoy stories that touch the heart and remind us of life's quiet miracles, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It truly helps our little storytelling family grow." "Please," he said. His voice cracked, actually cracked. "I just need more time." I froze behind a silver SUV, my heart pounding so loud I was sure he could hear it. I knew I shouldn't listen. I knew this was none of my business. But my feet wouldn't move. "I've done everything you asked," he continued, lowering his voice. "You said this would be enough." There was a pause. He ran a hand through his hair, pacing now, his polished shoes scraping against the concrete. "No," he said sharply. "No, that's not what we agreed on." Another pause. Longer this time. Whatever he heard on the other end of the line drained the color from his face. "I can't," he whispered. "You know I can't." My breath caught. This was the man who had humiliated me in meetings. The man who never hesitated, never apologized, never showed weakness. And now he looked like he was about to fall apart. I should have turned back. I should have waited until he left. Instead, my foot shifted. Gravel crunched under my shoe. His head snapped up. Our eyes met. For a split second, neither of us moved. Then his expression changed. Shock, anger, fear, and something else I couldn't name. He ended the call immediately. "What are you doing here?" he demanded, his voice snapping back into its usual sharpness, too sharp like a mask thrown on in a hurry. I forgot my phone," I said, stepping out from behind the SUV. My voice sounded small even to me. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to." "How much did you hear?" he asked. The question hit me like a slap. "Nothing," I lied too quickly. "Just, I saw you. I was about to leave." He studied my face, searching for something. For truth, maybe. Or weakness. Or an opportunity. The silence stretched between us, thick and uncomfortable. Finally, he exhaled and straightened his jacket. "Fine," he said. "Get your phone and go." I nodded and hurried toward my car, my hands shaking so badly I almost dropped my keys. I unlocked the door, leaned inside and grabbed my phone from the cup holder. The screen lit up with missed notifications, but I didn't look at them. I could feel his presence behind me, heavy and watchful. When I turned around, he was still there. "You didn't hear anything?" he said, not as a question. "No," I said again. "I didn't." Another long look. "Good," he replied. "Because whatever you think you saw, whatever you think you heard, it has nothing to do with your job." "My job." The words landed with weight. "I understand," I said. He hesitated, then spoke again, quieter this time. "You work late often." "Yes," I said carefully. "And you don't talk much at the office." I didn't know how to respond to that, so I stayed silent. "That can be a good thing," he continued. "Or a bad thing. Depends on the situation." My chest tightened. "I've been hard on you," he said, surprising me. "Haven't I?" The admission felt unreal. "Yes," I said before I could stop myself. He almost smiled. "Almost. You're capable," he said. "More than people realize." I swallowed. "Thank you." "Go home," he said, waving a hand dismissively. "It's been a long day." I nodded, got into my car, and drove away with my heart still racing. I thought that would be the end of it. I was wrong, because the next morning everything changed. When I arrived at the office, my inbox was already full. A calendar invite sat at the top of the list. From my boss. Subject: meeting 9 a.m. Location: his office. No agenda. No explanation. Just one line at the bottom. "We need to talk." I stared at the screen, the memory of his cracked voice in the parking lot echoing in my head. And for the first time since I started that job, I realized something terrifying. I wasn't just an employee anymore. I was a witness. The meeting behind closed doors. I didn't sleep that night. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw my boss standing beside his car in the dim parking lot, his voice breaking as he said, "Please." That word didn't belong to him. It didn't fit the man who ruled meetings with clipped sentences and cold stares. By morning, my head throbbed, and my stomach twisted with anxiety. I arrived at the office early, too early. The building smelled like fresh coffee and cleaning chemicals, the kind of quiet that only exists before everyone else arrives. My shoes echoed down the hallway as I walked to my desk. The calendar reminder stared at me from my screen. 9 a.m. His office. At 8:58, my palms were sweating. At exactly 9 o'clock, his door opened. "Come in," he said. I stood, smoothed my blazer, and walked down the hallway like someone heading into a courtroom. His office was neat as always. Glass desk, leather chair, city skyline framed by the window. But something was different. The blinds were closed. "Sit," he said, gesturing to the chair across from him. I did. He didn't sit right away. Instead, he walked to the window, adjusted the blinds just enough to let in a thin line of light, then turned back to face me. "You didn't tell anyone," he said. It wasn't a question. "No," I replied. "Not HR. Not your coworkers. Not your friends." "No." He nodded slowly, like he was checking items off a list in his head. Then he finally sat down, folded his hands on the desk, and leaned forward. "I'm going to be very clear," he said. "What you saw last night stays between us." "I understand," I said. He studied me again the way he always did, like he was looking for flaws. But this time there was something else beneath it. Uncertainty. "That phone call," he continued, lowering his voice, "was about a situation that could severely impact this company." My heart skipped. "I wasn't aware," I began. "You don't need to be aware," he cut in. "You just need to be discreet." I nodded. He leaned back in his chair, exhaling slowly. "You know, loyalty is rare these days." I stayed silent. "And valuable," he added. The room felt smaller. "I've reviewed your work," he said, tapping a folder on his desk. "More closely than before." My breath caught. "You're thorough, quiet, observant." His eyes locked on mine. "Those are qualities that matter more than people think." I didn't know whether to feel complimented or afraid. "I'm assigning you to assist me directly," he said. "What?" I blurted out. "Starting today," he continued calmly, "you'll be handling select reports, scheduling, and communications. Sensitive ones." My pulse raced. "Is this a promotion?" "In a sense," he said. "Your title won't change. Yet. But your access will." Something about the way he said it made my skin prickle. "I want to be clear," he added. "This isn't a reward. It's a responsibility." I nodded, even though every instinct in me screamed that this was a bad idea. "Good," he said. "You can start by canceling my afternoon meetings. I'll send you a list of files I need reviewed." The meeting was over just like that. When I walked back to my desk, the office buzzed with normalcy. Phones ringing, keyboards clicking, coworkers chatting about weekend plans. No one knew that my world had just tilted on its axis. By lunchtime, I was drowning in work I'd never seen before. Confidential emails, financial reports marked restricted, legal correspondence that made my chest tighten just reading the subject lines. Something was very wrong. Around 2:30 p.m., an email popped up that wasn't meant for me. I knew that immediately. It was forwarded by mistake, addressed to my boss but copied to me. Subject: Final notice. My heart pounded as I opened it. The language was formal, cold, and terrifying. Deadlines, breach of agreement, legal consequences, and one sentence that made my hands shake. Failure to comply will result in immediate exposure. Exposure of what? I stared at the screen, my thoughts racing. Then another message appeared, this one from my boss. "Come to my office now." I stood up so fast my chair scraped loudly against the floor. Heads turned. I didn't care. When I entered his office, he was already standing, his jaw tight, phone clenched in his hand. "You saw it," he said. "Yes," I admitted. "I'm sorry. It was sent to me by mistake." He didn't yell. That scared me more. "So now you know," he said quietly. "Know what?" I asked. He hesitated, then closed the door. "I made a decision a year ago," he said. "One that seemed necessary at the time." "What kind of decision?" I whispered. "A financial one," he replied. "One that kept this company alive." My heart sank. "Now someone wants their pound of flesh," he continued, "and they don't care who gets hurt in the process." "Is it illegal?" I asked. He didn't answer. That was answer enough. "I didn't ask to be involved in this," I said, my voice shaking. "I know," he said. "But you are now." I stood there, torn between fear and anger. "Why me?" I asked. "Because you're already in too deep," he said honestly. "And because I believe you won't betray me." The word betray hung heavy in the air. "I need time," I said, "to think." "You don't have much," he replied. I left his office feeling like the floor might give out beneath me at any moment. That evening, as I packed up to leave, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. "Hello." A calm voice spoke on the other end. "You work for him." My blood ran cold. "Yes," I said cautiously. "I know you saw him in the parking lot," the voice continued. "And I know he's pulled you closer since." "How do you?" I started. "He's not who you think he is," the voice interrupted. "And neither is this company." My heart hammered. "Who is this?" I demanded. "Someone who wants the truth to come out," they replied. "And someone who thinks you might help." The line went dead. I stood there, phone pressed to my ear, surrounded by empty cubicles and flickering lights. That was the moment I realized something terrifying. I wasn't just a witness anymore. I was a target. The call that changed everything. I didn't go home right away. I sat in my car with the engine off, phone resting in my lap, staring at the darkened office building. The unknown caller's words replayed in my mind like a warning I couldn't unhear. "He's not who you think he is." As if I hadn't already figured that out. I drove aimlessly for nearly an hour, turning down streets I'd never taken before, just to feel like I was moving, even though mentally I was stuck. Every scenario ran through my head. If I stayed silent, I was complicit. If I spoke up, I risked everything. By the time I got home, the sky was already dark. I barely slept. Again. At 6:12 a.m. my phone buzzed. Unknown number. My chest tightened. Hello. I whispered. You shouldn't answer unknown calls, the same calm voice said. Especially now. My heart started racing. You called me yesterday. Yes, they replied. And you didn't hang up. That tells me a lot. About what? I asked. About who you are, the voice said. And who you're becoming. I sat up in bed. You said you want the truth to come out. I do, they confirmed. But I don't want innocent people destroyed in the process. I swallowed. Then tell me what's going on. There was a pause. Meet me, they said. Today. Lunch. Public place. Where? I asked. I'll text you. The line went dead. A moment later, a message appeared with an address. An old cafe across town. Neutral ground. All morning at work. I felt like I was being watched. Every email I opened felt like it carried a double meaning. Every time my boss walked past my desk, my shoulders tensed. He barely looked at me, but that almost felt worse. At noon, I told him I was stepping out for lunch. He nodded without looking up. Don't be long. The cafe was quiet, the kind of place people went to be forgotten. I spotted them immediately. A woman in her late 30s sitting alone near the window, stirring her coffee though it was already cold. She looked normal. You're early, she said when I approached. You're the one who called me, I replied. She gestured for me to sit. My name is Claire, she said. And your boss ruined my life. The words landed like a punch. I was his financial consultant, she continued. Before this company even looked like what it does now. I listened, barely breathing, as she told me everything. About falsified numbers, secret investors, loans taken in other people's names, deals designed to collapse after profits were siphoned off. He's good, she said. Careful. He makes other people hold the blame. Why involve me? I asked. Because you're clean, she said simply. And because he made a mistake with you. What mistake? He underestimated you. I laughed bitterly. He thinks I'm loyal. She shook her head. No. He thinks you're scared. She slid a folder across the table. Copies, she said. Not originals. Enough to show intent. Not enough to destroy anyone outright. I stared at it. This could end him. It could expose the truth, she corrected. There's a difference. I could lose my job, I said. You could lose your conscience, she replied. Which one scares you more? I didn't answer. When I returned to the office, my boss was waiting for me. Door open. Arms crossed. You were gone a while, he said. I needed air, I replied. He studied me. Did you meet someone? My heart hammered. No. He didn't smile. I protected you today, he said suddenly. From what? HR, he replied. They asked questions about your sudden access. I shut it down. I forced myself to meet his gaze. Why? Because we're connected now, he said quietly. Whether you like it or not. That night I opened the folder. And that's when I found it. My name, buried in a document, listed as a secondary contact, a fallback, a potential scapegoat. My hand shook as the truth finally hit me. He never promoted me to protect me. He promoted me to protect himself. And suddenly everything was clear. The late night call, the sudden trust, the access. I wasn't an asset. I was insurance. I sat there in the dark, folder open on my lap, knowing one thing for certain. If I didn't act soon, I'd go down with him. And he knew it. The trap he didn't know he set. I didn't confront him. That was the first smart decision I made. Instead, I did what I'd always done best. I stayed quiet. The next few days passed in a blur of meetings, emails, and carefully chosen words. On the surface, everything looked normal. I showed up early. I stayed late. I nodded when spoken to. Inside, I was documenting everything. Every file he asked me to open. Every email he dictated. Every small favor that suddenly felt dangerous. And he noticed. "You've been efficient," he said one afternoon, leaning against my desk. "More confident." "Just doing my job," I replied. "That's good," he said, "because things are accelerating." I felt it too. The legal emails increased. The calls behind closed doors lasted longer. He stopped using his office phone and started stepping into the stairwell to talk. One evening, as the office emptied out, he called me into his office again. "We may need to adjust our narrative," he said. "Narrative?" I asked carefully. He smiled. "In case certain questions come up." My spine went cold. "Questions about what?" I asked. "You," he said. The word echoed. "You handle the documents," he continued. "You manage the access logs. If anyone looks closely, it will appear you initiated certain actions." My heart pounded, but my face stayed calm. "I didn't," I said. "No," he agreed. "But it could look that way." That night I met Claire again. "This is the moment," she said after I told her everything. "He's building his exit." "I'm the exit," I replied. She nodded. "Which means you're also the key." Together we formed a plan. Not revenge. Protection. I began forwarding copies of everything to a secure drive Claire had set up. Time-stamped, encrypted, unaltered. Every file proved one thing clearly. I was following orders. Then came the mistake. He asked me to sign some. "Just a temporary authorization," he said. "A formality." I read it carefully. It transferred responsibility. "I can't sign this," I said. His smile didn't reach his eyes. "You can." "I won't," I replied. The silence was heavy. "You're making this difficult," he said. "No," I said quietly. "You did." That night my phone buzzed. Unknown number. This time I didn't answer. A message followed. "Tomorrow. Parking lot." After hours. My hands shook. I knew exactly who it was. The next evening I stayed late on purpose. At 7:42 p.m., the parking lot was almost empty, and there he was, standing beside the black sedan, just like the first night. "You've changed," he said as I approached. "So have you," I replied. "You think you're smarter than me," he said. "No," I said. "I think you're scared." He laughed softly. "You have no idea how this world works." "Then explain it," I said. He stepped closer. "Power doesn't belong to the honest. It belongs to the quiet." I met his gaze. "Then you chose the wrong person." I handed him my phone. "Listen," I said. He pressed play. His own voice filled the air. Confessions. Instructions. Threats. Time-stamped. Recorded legally. His face drained of color. "You recorded me," he whispered. "You recorded yourself," I replied. I just remembered. For the first time he looked small. "You don't want to do this," he said. "I can still protect you." "I don't need your protection anymore," I said. Red and blue lights flashed at the entrance of the lot. Claire hadn't been bluffing. He turned then back to me. "This isn't over." "It is for me," I said. As they approached, he didn't resist. He just looked at me, and in his eyes I saw it. Regret. Not for what he'd done, but for choosing the wrong witness. What I learned after it was all over. The parking lot was silent again. No flashing lights. No raised voices. No black sedan waiting in the shadows. Just empty spaces and a soft wind moving through the trees. I stood there longer than I needed to, keys in my hand, breathing in the stillness. It felt strange how ordinary the world looked after something so heavy had ended. The next morning I didn't go to work. Not because I was fired. Because the building was closed. The news broke quietly at first. A short internal email. Then another. Then another. Due to an ongoing investigation. Temporary suspension of leadership. Please cooperate with authorities. By noon it was everywhere. People who had once praised him spoke carefully now. People who feared him avoided his name altogether. His office door stayed shut, sealed with a thin strip of tape that felt heavier than steel. HR called me in that afternoon. They were polite, careful, gentle in a way that almost made me angry. "You did the right thing," they said. I nodded, even though it hadn't felt like a choice at the time. I was placed on paid leave while the investigation continued. My inbox went quiet. My calendar emptied. For the first time in years I had space to think. And that's when it hit me. I had built my entire life around staying small. I replayed memories I'd buried. Times I'd stayed silent when credit was taken from me. When boundaries were crossed. When fear disguised itself as professionalism. I thought staying quiet kept me safe. But quiet had made me invisible. Claire called me a week later. "They're offering immunity," she said. "For both of us." I exhaled a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. "He won't," she added. "Not without consequences." I didn't ask what those were. I didn't need to. The company restructured. New leadership. New policies. New faces walking through halls that no longer felt cold. They offered me my job back. With a promotion. I surprised myself by saying no. I wasn't angry. I was done. Instead, I took a smaller role at a different firm. Less money. Less prestige. More air. More sleep. More peace. Months passed. Sometimes I still thought about the parking lot. About that moment when I almost didn't turn back. I wondered how many lives pivot on forgotten phones, missed buses, wrong turns. One evening as I walked to my car after my new job, I noticed something. I was standing straighter. Not because I felt powerful, but because I felt honest. I didn't need to be quiet anymore. And that was the real promotion. Final reflection. People think courage is loud. It isn't. Sometimes courage is just choosing not to carry someone else's guilt. Sometimes it's walking back into a place you'd rather avoid. And refusing to look away. And sometimes it begins in a parking lot. With a moment you were never meant to see.